Good morning, Reed here. Thanks for joining me on my morning walkabout at Orchestra Farm. And for all intents and purposes, it feels like winter's over. As I'm driving in today, it's 7 degrees Celsius out. Birds are all chirping and super happy, and feels like it's everything is racing ahead with that spring-like energy. To which there's, feels like there's a lot to be done in my world, and I'm glad I've made as much progress with projects over this winter period as I have, and a lot more to come in this current year cycle. And had a fun music night last night with a couple musician friends, and it's interesting. We've been playing together now for closing in on 2 years, I guess. And last night there's two interesting things. One is that a lot of the stuff that every time we played for a moment, they were the shortest intervals we've ever played for, and the endings were all crisp, which personally is something I've been wanting. And then there's a little extra notes tagged on to the end, kind of a thing. Still, you can see lots of water still standing up over here. It's super high. I'll have to break the beaver dam. Then probably another month at the end of March, I'm guessing. And that on the waterfront, yesterday I picked up a ball valve for my chicken water catchment, so I can actually collect water in my IBC container. So it was nice to go and do my morning feeding of them and see that indeed there was more water than the previous day. And I'm really excited about those home earth food related projects right now. I mean, I'm actually excited about so many different things, and it's funny because one of the things that I'm keep on hearing from, now here's like an interesting thing. Let's check this out for a second. You see these patches here? Some animal is doing that. And my question is that animal like a vole or bat, or is it a combination of things where maybe it's a vole that's moving through, and then it's something like a raccoon that's chasing it and trying to eat it? I don't know. Anyway, I might never find that one out. So this notion that if you're going to have a business, you should really just pick one thing and do that. So I'm obviously walking around this farm space, and I am not running this farm like a business. Let's just be really clear about that. That's not the intention, although, if, I don't know if you can see the growth that's happening on this elderberry here, but I propagate the elderberry and do some other propagations, and yeah, I might sell a couple of them, but it's not a business. And you might say, Reed, you talk about music a lot. Is that your business? And I'm like, I certainly want my artistic life to be meshed with my business. But let's be clear. In the year 2025, making money from music feels like a long shot. And I'm giving myself, I'm at 8.5 years in that trajectory. And each year I keep on upping the ante of acknowledging what does it take to make that happen in different ways. I'm trying to align that better. But on the island that I live here, a lot of people say that just about everybody here has several jobs that they do. And to me, I think that makes a more balanced life. I also think that's being human. I think it's kind of rare for someone to actually pick one single thing and then just go with that one thing. I think most of us actually have several different things that we're doing, and we might not turn all of them into businesses. But at this point in time, like, even just making a video like this, and the acknowledgement that, oh, yeah, that's kind of interesting. So Granny Smith apple tree here, and then the jostaberry that's right next to it is starting to reach up, and they're almost touching. I like that kind of stuff. Anyway, this piece of, to be authentically oneself and to relay this notion of like being human, and the quality of, it takes a lot to be human rather than a human being. And this notion of, as all the tech stuff is happening, and who knows the varying directions of that, the piece of having like actual human connection, I wonder if that's the piece that's going to be like one of the more valuable things. And how do we create spaces to have that human connection of being human? And the notion that whether it's through the gardening, farming practices, through the arts, through different, I like to think of them as cultural rituals, like all these things play into it. And so to acknowledge that, including parenting, to acknowledge all these different aspects, to me, makes a more well-rounded presence of like who and what I actually am. And rather than trying to niche down to like just music or just gardening or just writing or just these cultural ritual things, I want to give that all those different aspects space and offer them to you. So I want to say thanks for watching today. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. And there'll be more to come about all this in the future. If you got any questions or comments, I'd love that. Again, if you want to check out the music, it's at bennyreeds.bandcamp.com. And there is a link in the description to that. Have too much fun.